I think it was my daughter called me and said that she'd heard that Ed Martin had overdosed.
Right then, Michael Millette knew he needed to leave town. On November 30th, 2014, Ed Martin died of an overdose of fentanyl in the bathroom of this convenience store in Littleton, New Hampshire. And Millette was his dealer.
I mean, I felt horrible, but I was also scared of what's going to happen to me now, you know.
He fled across the border to Vermont.
You know, I grabbed my clothes and I left.
But the next day, he'd be back in Littleton, selling more drugs to feed his own habit. There, he was arrested and charged not just with dealing, but with Ed Martin's death. He's now serving a 10 to 30-year sentence in state prison.
Demographically, if you look at the who is impacted by opiate abuse and heroin abuse, it's this demographic here in small-town America.
Facing an epidemic of opioid use, New Hampshire is one of a growing number of states that are going after dealers when their customers die from heroin or fentanyl overdoses. This year, the state's Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Hampshire formed a task force to pursue dealers who sell the final fatal dose. Maximum penalty, life. The nation's drug-related deaths have soared in recent years. The death rate up 140% from 2000 to 2014, when more than 47,000 people died from drug-related causes. In 2014, the states with the highest drug-related death rates overall were West Virginia, New Mexico, New Hampshire, and Kentucky. Fentanyl is increasingly the culprit, an opioid that's up to 50 times more powerful than heroin. But there's a debate over whether the strategy of charging dealers with causing users' deaths will prove effective.
If you asked me when the epidemic first started, I would have said arrest everybody. There's a penalty for everything. But now looking at the magnitude of the problem and having a better understanding of it, treatment and rehabilitation is the better solution.
I don't think there's any other way at this point.
Ed Martin's fiancée says while she has forgiven Millette for selling him the drugs, she still says he should be locked up.
Somebody needs to be accountable. And when they choose to sell the drugs, they're choosing to be accountable for everybody else that's taken that drug.
Meanwhile, Millette will be eligible for parole in 2022. He says prison has helped him.
My life has changed drastically, but I will say now I'm on the road to recovery.
Robert Bumstead, Associated Press.